Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. I'm so happy that you wanted to join me today because I have not been in this seat for a while. I've been writing my master thesis and I have also been in Hamburg, so just all of a sudden tons of things happened and I forgot to film videos. But I'm back now, hopefully, sorta. I'm going to be here for a while, so I thought I might as well take you guys through some of the tips that I have utilized within the last week when I have been on the road. These tips are great whenever you are traveling both shorter and longer distances. I used this when I traveled to Hamburg, but I used exactly these tips as well when I traveled to Hungary and Spain and England, and you can go wherever you want, boo. I think it's super essential to talk about how we travel whenever we talk about sustainability. Not only how we travel as in how do we transport ourselves from A to B, but also what kind of things do we accumulate and utilize whenever we are on the road. I see a lot of travel-sized items, and travel-sized items always mean smaller packages, more plastic, more EU. So these tips are going to help you, hopefully, to a more sustainable traveling routine. Enjoy! So one of the things that I think is super essential whenever you're traveling is having a spacious carry-on. This is what I travel with as my carry-on. It's big, it's made of rubber. This bag is from Grunbag and it's actually made from safety belts and truck covers, which I think is quite neat, and reuse and upcycle, and yeah. But always have a spacious carry-on, because whenever you do travel and you want to keep it low waste, zero waste, you want to bring stuff with you instead of throwing them into the garbage bin. And when I was in Hamburg last week when I was in Hamburg, I would prefer a glass bottle of soda over a plastic bottle, and I would hold on to the plastic bottle until I found a recycling bin for it, instead of just throwing it out the landfill. And for that purpose, a big carry-on is really essential, because you can accumulate stuff without feeling too bothered by it. But another reason why I like my big carry-on is also because I do enjoy and I do prefer having a few zero waste utensils that I bring with me wherever I go. Definitely have a big carry-on to drag a lot of stuff around in. So the next tip is generally prep from home. If you know that you are going somewhere, there are a few things that I prefer to bring with me whenever I travel. I'll just take you guys through what those things are. They're not a lot of things, and generally the thing about zero waste is that you don't need a ton of stuff to do it. You don't need a tool bag of all different kinds of things, but now I'm going to show you my tool bag of all different kinds of things. I prefer to bring a reusable water bottle. Especially if you travel in countries where you can actually drink the tap water, this is so essential. Usually when I traveled, I just filled this with water when I was at the hotel or restaurant or something. Reusable water bottle. That's a far away on my shelf. Another thing, and this is not as essential, I mean you can do without, but I just really prefer it, is the top tier of my ICA lunchbox. This is just a metal container, but I really enjoy this whenever I'm at a restaurant, and I usually leave things because I can't finish an entire plate, especially if it's a big plate. I can't finish an entire pizza in one sitting, for instance. So it's really nice, instead of having to throw that away and let that food be wasted, you can take that food with you. So for that purpose, I have a container so I can enjoy the food later. And this also functions as a to-go container if I am at a food street vendor kind of thing and they use plastic. I can ask them just to give it in this, and that will also work. Like a container for food is essential to me, but maybe it's different to you, but I personally enjoy it. Okay, where are we? I also enjoy bringing a spork. This is from Life Without Plastic. It's one of my oldest zero waste items, and I actually kind of love it. One of the first things I got, no joke. And I bring this with me everywhere. It's literally no big deal. I actually also sometimes bring canvas bags and bulk bags of different kinds, but they are not essential anyway. I just like to do it because you never know when you're going to run into a bulk store, and goals. So another thing that I find to be really practical whenever you're traveling and you want to minimize the amount of waste that you accumulate is online or e-tickets. I get all my tickets on my phone, which saves me so much trash, because you would think that train tickets or bus tickets or even plane tickets are paper, but they are paper coated in plastic, or they have small plastic or non-recyclable elements. They are usually a mixed material, which means that they cannot be recycled. So getting your tickets on your phone is a really good idea. I also do that with theatre tickets, movie tickets, coupons of any kind. I get things on my phone instead, because I would rather do that than have a ton of free papers that I need to just... I mean, there's also an organizational issue to this, not gonna lie, but most of all it's to avoid the paper trash. So I think I just sort of slid into the other tip there. That's a sentence. But if you can, try and avoid plane traveling. If you can, try to choose public transportation like buses or trains. It is a little bit more time consuming sometimes, and it can be a little bit more inconvenient, but I actually do think that the outcome is so much better, and I feel like there's a payoff to it. When I traveled to Hamburg, I had 6 hours back and forth, and I got the time to read and answer emails and edit videos, and that was time just given to me for free. I think it was cool. Another thing that I like to do is I like to research before I go somewhere. I like to research what kind of restaurants and what kind of markets are there, if I can find a zero waste store of any kind, and if I can find vegan restaurants. That's something that is very, very important to me. I also asked you guys on Instagram if you had any recommendations for restaurants that were vegan in Hamburg, and you did, like, a lot. And I have a Hamburg vegan food tour guide on my blog right now if you're interested. Tons of amazing, noteworthy recommendations for vegan restaurants, which I think is cool. But whenever I travel somewhere, I like to research and find out where can I get plant-based food. Even if you're not a vegan, try to taste plant-based foods in all different kinds of the world, because that's really, really cool. And if you can find anyone who cooks with local ingredients as well, double thumbs up. I've said this a few times, and I know this can be an issue to some people, but it's also something that was an issue to me, and I just really learned how to cope with it through exposure, basically. But bringing your own container and asking a staff member to assist you or to help you in a non-conventional way, like, please, can I have this salad but in my own container? Can I have this soda but in my own container? Can be a little bit nerve-wracking to ask people, especially if you're not really fluent in the language, the country. So exposure, baby. Simply just do it enough times. I know that it's really nerve-wracking to ask people to inconvenience themselves a little bit because of your ideal, but I actually find that if you're smiling, if you're happy, if you're kind, it can be a really, really positive exchange between two people, and I usually enjoy that. I also like to simply ask people, will I be getting a plastic fork or like a regular fork? Because for plastics, I have my own and stuff. And if you ask people in a very nice way, you can get really, really far, and it would be a really, really positive exchange between you two. So doing it a lot and just not being scared of asking is something that's really, really essential. When it comes to traveling and when it comes to zero waste and sustainability in general, it's really, really important to try and challenge yourself. It may be a little bit uncomfortable in the beginning, and you can also experience some people having a negative reaction, although that has never been the case for me. If it has, I didn't notice it because that's who I am, just woo! But try and be kind and open-minded and respectful, and that way people will be more than happy to help you. I hope that this video was helpful to someone. If it was, leave a comment down below, and if you have more zero waste, low waste impact travel tips, also leave them down below. Let's share, and I hope to see you in my next video. Woo! Thank you so much for watching this video, and also a special thank you to my Patreon supporters. You guys help me create green zero waste content, and I love you guys. You can find the links to my social media accounts down below and the link to my Patreon on this screen. Bye!